my stuff quite often. Not necessarily good stuff. But nothing too. Oh, let's put those bad boys here so no one thinks I'm bald head. Yeah, there's a reason behind it.
All right, Kim, do you want to start us off?
So, this is the end today, so you've got some players that this will be their last game here. Just how are you trying to get them through not focusing on that? Because I know Jalen talked a little bit about this could be your last time, playing in the last game.
Well, part of it is just trying to keep the routine as normal as possible, try not to make it so much more than it actually is, and then celebrate it all at the very end. But knowing that all of the players, for the most part, want to go off and play more is putting them in that position and making sure that our returners are in a good place. So I'm excited.
You obviously were very upset about not making the NCAA tournament. You've turned that into a positive by making this run. How did you kind of address the mindset of the players and make sure that they were headed in the right direction?
I don't know that I was very upset. I was very confused as to why we didn't get in. But I tend in life to make sure that I understand that you can't be happy and sad at the same time. So being happy the fact that we got to play in set 5, which was our goal all along, and making sure that we make the most of the situation, because if I go downhill and I'm sad and depressed and all those things, the players will be the same way. And we all have a choice. And so I'm using this as a stepping stone for us to continue to practice, get reps, and feel what it feels like to play in the month of December. We haven't done this in a long, long time, especially this late. I mean, 2001 was the last time we were actually still doing anything this particular week. So just making the most of it so that it becomes the norm.
How much of a motivating factor was that for the team to maybe prove that the NCAA selection committee made a mistake, or that you were, as you call it, the 65th best team in the country?
Oh, it's definitely the number one thing on our list, is to show that we were good enough to be in the tournament, but for whatever the reasons were, we weren't selected. And it goes on to say, if we don't do it, then were we really? So there's a little message behind that as well.
Jason?
A couple of questions. The first one would be, what are some of the advantages of making a deep postseason run? Not that you wouldn't have done it if you were the NCAA, but what are the advantages of playing multiple games in this tournament?
Well, you get more reps, you get more practice, you get the opportunity to let them see what it feels like to be able to take exams in the midst of getting ready to compete. And being able to play at home is amazing, so we get to allow our fans and crowd to see us play a little bit longer. You get to elongate the career of our seniors. You get to get the freshmen just the reps that they need, some of the players that didn't get to play as much throughout the year. You get more opportunity with them.
Certainly the parallels with the basketball team in 2019 winning the WNIT. We all know what happened with them 2 years later. They were in the championship game. They also had a young, really star player or two, which you do as well. Have you noticed the similarities? Does it mean anything? Do you draw from that? What's your take on the situation?
Yes, I was completely aware of what happened to Adia that year and the team and what they did and what they accomplished as a result of it. So, of course, you want that same thing to kind of happen for you with your program and with the players. And once again, just anytime you get to play, it's a good day. There's no one else in the Big 12 that's playing right now or practicing right now. So this puts us, in my mind, at an advantage. And then it makes us be in a position where we can go out and be ready to start up in August and get going and get to the tournament, because at the end of the day, that's really important.
With winning 10 matches in a row, how much momentum is this team playing with right now?
It's all momentum, energy, and just being home. I mean, there was a chance that we were going to be on the road, so we weren't sure what that was going to look like. I didn't know how that would affect them or impact them. But then once we were told we were hosting, they were all like, oh my gosh, thank you, I'm so excited. So, our goal is to go get that one more.
I guess one last follow-up. Have you run into Adia in the hallway at all? Has she said anything?
Yes.
What's that conversation been like?
Go get it, Rita. Prove them wrong. Adia, she has better choice words than I do. But in true Adia form, yes.
And Bowling Green, they've been very resilient this year. I mean, they just did the reverse sweep up there at St. John's on the road. They've got their op and their outside hitter are both really effective. So what do you guys have to do to play against a team like that that never gives up?
Well, I'm excited they never give up because we're learning to be that same type of team that will compete the entire time. And I think that playing a team like that at the very end is exactly what we need to be able to finish off the season. So that we put ourselves in a position where we're like we can beat any team, a team that competes the entire time. And it's the message that I'll send to the players, and they already know. It was the same thing we said about Northern Colorado. They didn't give up. And, everyone that's competing in this tournament wants to be in a tournament, which means they're giving it everything they have.
Avery's coming in here.
Yes.
Next, what is the story behind her recruitment? And how she ended up here?
Well, Avery is a very interesting young woman. She is a lot of fun, but she came to camp, and that's what did it for us. Once you get on campus, then, you fall in love with campus and everything, but we were not 100% sure. But once you get them here on campus, if they're good enough, then you're in a position where you can offer them. But she had, a few choices out there, not as highly recruited as she would like to have been, but she didn't get to play much the year before because she was behind another young lady. So everything about her is always on a mission to be the best and to prove everyone wrong as well.
She comes from a volleyball background.
Yes.
How much does having a mom who was successful at her position, and having that family background help her?
Well, it tells you she knows how to operate in a gym, and she knows when she's actually doing her job and not doing her job because her mom will always stay on her as well as her dad. But it's comforting. You get individuals that understand the ins and outs and that kind of understand the coach's mindset. That was one of the things with Ava Tortorello, which was good about her. She goes, I get it. I get the coach's mindset, whereas the average player who doesn't have a parent who played a sport or was actually a coach, they don't tend to understand as quickly.
How much in this sport do you alter your game plan depending on what the opponent does best?
At the end of the day, for us this season, it was all about us, but we do scouting reports. We understand that number 14 is a lefty, and she does certain things, and number 9, and where they said you have to understand that information because at the end of the day, when rubber meets the road, that's all they have left is what they actually do, and so it's a matter of making sure our players understand that the entire time. The thing is, you don't have a lot of turnaround time to actually practice it. So right now, our kids are in finals, so we're doing modified practices across the board, and we compete tomorrow.
What is your sense of the mood in the locker room, the vibe around the team?
One more. Let's do this. We're all in, which has always been our cheer. No one wants to ask me about my blue hair?
Well, tell me about the blue hair, because you've had red this year.
Well, blue is, my brother passed away in May, and blue was his favorite color, and he left me with some choice words for this particular season, and this is the only way I could have them with me. Well, basically, he got on me from my time at NC State and saying that I didn't allow myself to be who I am. And he goes, Rita, you have to show them who you are. Be you. Don't change no matter what happens. You just have to be that person that people want to listen to and talk to with a lot of other choice words. He goes, you don't get to do this again. This is it. You got to go out there and show them what you're made of.
What's your brother's name?
Charles. Charles and Charita.
Anything else? Good? All right.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Kim, do you want to start us off again?
So Avery, I was just looking at your bio finally, recently, and I saw about your mom's accomplishments in the game and your aunt. How much did they help you get to where you are, and how much did they help in the recruiting process?
So my mom and my aunt didn't really help a lot during the recruiting process. That was kind of all me. But I was always like grown up around volleyball, and like my aunt played volleyball at Nebraska and my mom played at Georgia. So I think my mom played in like an indoor league when I was little. So I kind of been around it then. And it was just like nice because it was like relatable to have someone in the family that has played it. Like a lot of my friends growing up, they didn't really have, their mom didn't really play volleyball, or like they didn't really have like a volleyball family. So I was really lucky. I think like just being able to grow up around it and they can just give knowledge to it about it, it just was so nice.
Especially having a setter in the family.
Yes.
I mean, what did your mom teach you about setting growing up?
So my mom taught me a lot about setting. She taught me like first how to set, but once she coached me my 12s year when I first started playing. And once I kind of wasn't coached by her anymore, I kind of like tried to like not let her coach me because I was really big. I really wanted her to just be kind of a mom because, you know, I'd look at her on the sidelines and she'd be like doing something with her hands or trying to tell me something. And I was just kind of like, well, I just want my mom to be my mom. So it's been good because she can like teach me all the fundamentals, and she's smart, and she just like kind of gives me reminders even though I don't want to hear them sometimes, which is really nice.
Coach Stubbs said that coming to a camp here really kind of cemented you coming to Arizona. What can you tell us about that experience?
So June 15th, I think it was a couple days before June 15th, I really researched Arizona and I really liked what I saw online because I'd never been to Arizona at all. And I didn't even know like anything about the school. I just really loved the way that it looked. I remember looking at it, and so I sent an email to them and they're like, okay, well, your highlights look good, but we think you're going to need to come out to camp. So I went to camp all by myself, which was so much fun because I got to fly by myself for the first time. And I really just fell in love with the school. And it was just like everything that I saw online was just much better in person. And there were a couple of like requirements that Arizona had that I just like loved. Or like, it's kind of silly, but I wanted to go to a school that was sponsored by Nike. I feel like that was like a big one. Or like, I really like the colors. I really like the area. I wanted more of a college town feel. So coming to camp and just like getting to get under their coaching. And at the time, I think Dave was the head coach and he had done it, but he had kind of told me that it was more on Rita's end because she was going to come up soon. But it was really good and I really liked it. And I really loved the coaches too, and I just loved the environment.
What year was that and how old were you at the time?
It was summer of 2022 and I was 16.
What was your initial reaction when you didn't make the NCAA tournament?
I think it was kind of one of those feelings where it's like gut-wrenching because I think it's different when it was like a feeling that was like, oh, like there's a better chance of getting in than there was of being left out. So you kind of were thinking positively and you were thinking like, okay, like yes, you were nervous, but you didn't think that that was going to happen. So it was like a feeling when like your gut drops and it's like just nobody likes to hear bad news, and I just feel like it was just so unexpected and the vibe was just not good at all.
So how were you able to take a mindset and a positive one to be able to win and go from here? You know, some teams would have said, oh, forget it. You know, we don't belong in this tournament. Maybe not give it their all, but you guys were able to move past it. What type of mindset did that take?
So I think at first it was like I remember the first 30 minutes I was just like, I was not feeling motivated at all. I think pretty much everybody was because it was just such hard news. But I think once we realized it was like, okay, we have a chance to play as a team again. We have a chance to play with these seniors. That's how I thought about it. I was like, Jalen, Ava, Haven, Amanda, Kiari, AJ, they're all seniors, and I'm going to miss them so much. So being able to practice with them still and spending time with them has been really fun. And nobody likes to lose, and it's like if we're going to go play in this tournament, like we might as well go try and win it. And that competitive mindset doesn't switch just because it's not where we want it to be. So as long as we're just proving a point, like is our main thing.
You were 13 years old in 2019. I don't know if you were following women's basketball, but have you heard anything about the women's team here and them winning the WNIT and what that did for them? Or has there been any conversations like that at all, or no? It's okay if there hasn't been.
I've heard about it, and like our coach was telling us about it, that like a lot of the people that play in the NIVC, they are more successful the next couple of years. I think Georgia Tech played in it, and they haven't been out of the NCAA tournament since. So that was always good, and there's no negative statistic, too. So I think looking on the positive side, like playing in it and doing well, which we did so far, and hopefully we can win tomorrow, it's not going to hurt us. Like, there's no disadvantage that we have for playing in it, so it's kind of just like a why not go and play and do our best and get better.
If you've won 10 matches in a row, I'm thinking this team has a lot of confidence right now and
Yes.
momentum. What is the feeling in the locker room and the aura within the team right now?
I think everybody is just so excited. It's like a championship. I've never played in the tournament. I've never played in any college tournament before. So even though this isn't an NCAA tournament, it's still the NIVC, and I still really, really want to win. One of my club teammates is on Bowling Green, so it's going to be like I'll get to see her. But the feeling is good. Like, it's uplifting, and also there's no pressure. Like, there's really no pressure because I think we perform our best when we're not under any pressure. And so there's just confidence. We've been winning. We've been playing great. And there's one last one. We get to do it at home, so why not go out with a bang?
What do you like the best about the culture that Coach Stubbs has instilled here?
Ooh, what do I like the best? I really like there's a lot of saying that, like, your team is your family, but here I've really felt my team is my family. Being really far away from home, I was just reflecting on I get to go home on Wednesday, and I just am sad to leave here just as much as I was to leave home, just because I've grown so close to these girls, and I really just love them so much, and playing with them has been so much fun. So I think the culture and, like, everybody trusts each other. Everybody is close with everybody. There's no cliques. There's no groups. Nobody's mean to one another, rarely. And it's fun. Like, it's like home.
How many, will you have any family at the game tomorrow, and how often have they been able to see you play in person since being in college?
I won't have any family here tomorrow, but my parents have come out a lot. My mom, the last time they came out, so my mom came out on my birthday weekend when we played Kansas State and KU. And my dad surprised me in Colorado with my younger brother. So I've seen my parents probably like 5 times, like each person 5 times since. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Anything else? All good? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.